Hello and welcome to Talk of Good Games. Just finished West Ham United 1, Watford 0. The Hammers are back fourth in the Premier League, at least for 15 minutes, depending on the result of the turf move. But right now, the Hammers are fourth in the Premier League. We're here to discuss the limited highlights from the fixture. And anyway, Gonzo, let's discuss the first half. Saeed Benrahma had the best chance of the half for West Ham. A good save from Ben Foster. Then he sort of rebound hit the post, and then Kucha had the best chance for Watford with a header as well, but went in 0-0 at half time. What were you thinking after 45 minutes of action?
Oh, I was really worried. I was really worried. Watford had the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth quickest players on the pitch, and you just can't do that. And I was thinking, oh my goodness. So actually, even the times when we were a little bit canny, we might win the second ball. It wouldn't matter. They'd just run in and get it off us. We'd try and do a sprint. And I mean almost, well, actually not almost anyone, anyone would try and do a sprint. We'd try and carry the ball up the field. Three players in particular that I'm thinking of here, which were Antonio, Declan Rice and Benrahma, didn't bother them. They just match us for pace. They just come and take the ball off of us, so we couldn't really impact it. They were also stronger than us as well, which was a worry. So they were faster and stronger than us all over the pitch. And we had the real look of a team that had just played 120 minutes. We looked like we played 120 minutes, which we obviously had done. So, yeah, it was really worrying. They just looked better than us everywhere. And what was key, as we were losing almost all, with the exception of Dawson and Bowen. Bowen was getting beaten every time in the air. The fullback was dealing really well with Bowen. Let's be fair, beating him in the air. We kept on launching up to Bowen for the headers. Don't know why that was. We got to nip out, but you could argue, and particularly coming into the game, that was borne out. But with the exception of Dawson and Bowen, we lost all our individual battles all across the pitch. They were dominant. I was really worried at half time, mate, actually.
I was fairly relaxed, to be honest with you. I'm not just saying that. Luckily, I went and did the chat at half time so Charlie could go to the toilet. I was relaxed. I was sticking with my 1-0 prediction as well. I thought Roy Hodgson got his tactics bang on in the first 45 minutes. Moyes did a crucial change at half time, I felt. But tactics first off. When the lineups come out, we were a bit confused. We thought, why is he playing four centre midfielders? What's Roy going to do? Well, it was evident quite early on why. A nice compact midfield four meant that Benrahma and Bowen just couldn't cut inside. There was no room for them. Whenever we got the ball wide, Bowen and Benrahma couldn't get into the middle of the pitch. They were stuck out wide with the ball, which then means that Soufal and Creswell can't really get forward very much. They're in their way as well. And I just thought Roy had his tactics spot on. When we were in possession, we didn't know what to do with it. We were struggling. They congested the area of the pitch in which we were trying to play in. On a couple of occasions, Bowen managed to wiggle free from his man and Soufal would get down the side, but we didn't capitalise on it. The other side of the pitch, I thought Benrahma was completely ineffective, but I'm going to put that down to just good tactics by Roy Hodgson. At the end of the day, he is a really good Premier League manager. He had Watford set up really well organised. As soon as they got the ball, go. They all went. 3-4 of them just sprinted in a straight line. Kamara was getting forward really well from left back. Dennis was cutting in to give Kamara that space down there to join Josh King. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, you know something? Roy Hodgson's got his tactics spot on. I would have marked him a 9 out of 10, Hodgson, for his tactics. But it was still 0-0. I thought unfortunately, this is what he's working with. His players just aren't quite that good enough. When they broke, I didn't feel that much threat from them. They had that free header by Kucha, but I thought, something is one chance in 45 minutes, a couple of long range efforts from the likes of Sissoko, Kamara himself. I wasn't that bothered by them. I just thought, okay, you're winning the tactical battle so far, but you've got 0-0 to show for it. It's not that good an achievement. You've done well, but that's it. You've done well. And I just thought, I'm not sure Watford can get that much better in the second half. I thought we could get a hell of a lot better in the second half. And the one thing is I'm going to be critical of in the first 45, but actually, in a way, it was a good thing. I thought Rice had an awful first half for West Ham tonight, but I thought, well, he's not going to do that in the second half. So as long as we get a better Declan Rice, West Ham will just get better as well without us having to do anything. But I thought we made a slight tweak at half time. Then also the substitution of Lanzini came, but we got a goal, Gonzo, in the 68th minute. But until then, what were you thinking?
I was waiting for Lanzini to come on. quite frankly. I just
I
wanted
would have had him on
Lanzini
at half time. I would have had him on at half
yeah, I
time.
mean, again, wrote it down there because we lacked cutting. We weren't fluid. We had no fluidity in the first half, so we needed somebody to get on the ball. And yeah, I said to my son when Lanzini was on, I said, tell you what, just watch him, just watch the number 10, mate, just watch Lanzini. I know it's hard, isn't it, when you're watching a game and you want to follow the flow of games. Just watch him. Bang, pass, there. So look how comfortable everybody is in giving him the ball. And immediately, you felt that Rice and Bowen both appreciated being on the pitch. It was immediate. It was. I thought it was really, really important. Really, really good things happen. So yeah, I was literally just waiting for him to come on. Really, I was worried because we were so there. That was massive fatigue. And the only thing I was hoping was in a second, well, apart from the Lanzini thing, was that because we played such a long game against Kidderminster, I was hoping that Hodgson hadn't quite been there long enough to get he can do them tactically, but to get a proper fitness regime. So I was thinking, I hope Watford tire a little bit because my God, they could run, right? I mean, really impressed with their athleticism, and I was just thinking, hopefully they can't keep this up. And look, we've got lots of young players in our team. We do. But I felt because of the 120 minutes, we looked old. We looked like an old team, and they looked fresh. I thought, I was hoping they couldn't carry on running like they did, and we might be able to get someone on the ball with a little bit of composure. Who we have players with technique. We really do. But actually, the technique that counts, which is the passing, right? It weren't so great today. So I was, when he came on, then I wasn't that hopeful before he came on, though, to be fair.
Yeah, I thought we moved Bowen in the second half. I think we moved Bowen about 10, 15 yards inside, got him away from Kamara. Let's face it, Kamara was holding more than his own. I know you spoke about the aerial dominance over Jarrod Bowen, but I think on the deck, I think he was holding his own. He was getting forward really well. That was a very good left back Bowen come up against tonight. I thought he was by far Watford's best player on the pitch.
Good.
Get him away from him. Move him 15 yards in the middle. Give Soufal that space down the right-hand side. Put Bowen in here. He's still got a job to do defensively, Jarrod Bowen. But when you've got 70% possession of the ball, you might as well take a risk of moving in there and say, well, we've got most of it, so let's utilise him. And I thought that just completely threw Watford altogether, really, because all of a sudden you've got... I'm trying to think who's playing on the left for them. Tom Cleverley was on the left for Watford. In the first half, he's almost sandwiching Bowen. And now all of a sudden, Bowen's moves, you can see Cleverley thinking, well, what do I do? Do I go with him and leave Soufal to have the whole right-hand side to himself or what? I thought just moving Jarrod Bowen 15 yards, he was picking up in that pocket of space all the time, just looking for the ball. It wasn't really working until we got Lanzini on the pitch, Gonzo. It didn't take him long. Lovely little ball to Bowen. A massive slice of luck. Hits him and Foster's on the deck and it goes in.
Yeah, but I'll happily take that because I thought we were blunt before that, and it needed someone to create a little bit of space. And I don't just mean Lanzini's pass. Actually, Bowen's run created a little bit of space for himself and someone to take a gamble and take a shot. Because I mean, they were so well organised. It's not just a case of them blocking shots. They stand in such good positions that it makes it prohibitive to shoot. Actually, there's no point in shooting. There's a guy right in front of me, so I can't shoot. So I've got to move the ball left and and we hadn't moved the ball that well. So you know what, he took the shot and fair play to him. And I'll tell you what, particularly by the way he finished the game as well, Bowen, from that goal onwards, was completely vindicated. As he just got better and better and better. And by that point, it was. I mean, it's tough. It's tough for Watford. It was funny watching the. Did you watch it on BT? Did you?
Yeah.
It was funny watching the swing of the game, wasn't it?
Because are you basically asking me if I've got a legal stream? Is that what you're basically asking?
I'm sorry, I did. Yeah, not really. No, I was. It sounded like that, didn't it? But no, I wasn't. It was more to do with the commentary and the other scorelines coming up. And it was quite interesting with that swing that was going on there because obviously the Everton game and the Newcastle game for a long time was 1-1, wasn't it? And obviously there was Watford at that point still in it because obviously Watford are vying with Newcastle and Man United were winning. Oh, what's the score now? Hold on, I've got to check. got to check. It's nearly finished. It's still 1-1. So at that point, Man United.
Let us know.
Well, I've started to switch it off. And then to Man United were winning 1-0 with a goal with Pogba. And I thought this was really interesting because Burnley equalised, Newcastle went ahead, and obviously there's no way the players on the pitch could know. But I remember thinking, this is interesting. It's really all shifting now. I wonder if we can score now, and we did. I think you'll find we scored quite soon after Burnley scored, and it was just all of a sudden the momentum was taken from Watford in terms of their relegation scrap, and it was given to us in terms of our push for European football. I thought it was really, really interesting from then. And they'd worked so hard, Watford. They'd worked so hard. They must have been gutted, they really were, because at that point we came into it. We looked like the better team after that point.
Yeah, I think our confidence grew. I think we looked a lot more composed. I think partly A, because we were 1-0 up, and B, because Lanzini was on the pitch. Whenever you're in trouble, just give the ball to Lanzini. He can cope with it. There was that point he was surrounded by about 3 Watford players facing the Billy Bond stand, and he just cut it back between 2 of them to the centre-back. Like, there you are, mate, you have it. Keep the ball moving over there. So he's the only player in the team that can do that, really. No one else has that vision, composure. It's like a case of panic and just... or put your teammate under pressure if anything. Here, you have it. I don't want it. Whereas Lanzini doesn't do that. He's just such a beautiful footballer. And I think towards the end of the game, you saw that. West Ham went on to hit the post through Jarrod Bowen. As Gonzo said, he became a peacock, showing off his feathers. Hit the post, but finished West Ham 1, Watford 0 for this evening. Now we're going to discuss the game and individual performers. But before we do, just want to point you in the direction of our Patreon, because we have a bit of a competition running. If you want more Hammers Chat videos, yes or no, loads more, including tomorrow, where we'll be doing our player ratings, where we take a look back at today's game and give the starting 11 and the manager a mark out of 10. We've got lots of content over there at the minute, including our tier list video, which went up on Monday, which me, myself and Gonzo took a look at the valuations, the market price for our goalkeeper and defenders. But what is the potential giveaway? We've got 2 signed captain's armband. This one here from Mr. Mark. No, that's Declan Rice. That's Mr. Declan Rice. And this one's Mr. Mark Noble. 2 signed captain's armbands. We're giving them both away. We're giving one to a patron that was a patron prior to Saturday, and we're giving one to somebody that's joined up since Saturday, and you can still enter now. All you have to do is subscribe to our Patreon. It's from £3.50 per month. Link is in the description and the pinned comments of this video. Go to patreon.com/Hammers Chat. And if you sign up for the year, you save yourself 10% as well. More Hammers Chat content and support the channel. And we massively appreciate it. Now, Gonzo, shall I stop plugging the Patreon and get back to talking about
it was well said, mate. I'll tell you what, that was smooth as hell.
Thank you.
Bravo. I was listening to that. Well,
apart from the armband slip up.
Really good. Anyway. Really good. Well done.
Anyway, no rehearsing. Unlike Watford's tactics, you can tell they were rehearsed. I was actually quite impressed by Watford tonight, Gonzo. And do you know something? We didn't play well. We played okay. We didn't play badly. I don't think anyone had a poor performance per se. They could have all just done a bit better. And we've won this game. And I think it was a big game. I think there was a lot of pressure on West Ham going into this game for various different reasons. The Kurt Zuma thing, Isla Caton's night as well, puts a bit of pressure on. You don't want to let her down either. And then, of course, there's the league table. West Ham making no signings, their first home game since January transfer window, no signings. There's loads and loads of different reasons that this game was a must-win for West Ham. We've come through it, actually. And this game 3-4 months ago, I just sat here saying, we got off with it a little bit tonight, Gonzo. I don't really feel like that tonight. I feel like we've overcome a bit of a challenge, actually, a tough test. And I think Watford will go on to take points off teams around West Ham between now and the end of the season, actually. Before, when I would see, whether it be Man U, Tottenham, Wolves, Arsenal playing Watford, I think, 3 points for them. Actually, not anymore. I'd be thinking, all right, good luck with them lot, because they are well organised. They're hard to break down. And not every team will do it. We had a massive slice of luck tonight. But you know something? I've seen games where we've got mugged off by luck just going against us. Big test for us, Gonzo. And we got it. And we were the better team. We were the better team. Were we good enough to earn all 3 points? Arguably so. But I think there was only really one team in it, despite Watford getting their tactics bang on.
Look, I'd agree with almost everything you said there. Also, let's just say, I think when they get Sarr back as well, and they've got that fullback going down one side, Sarr the other, Dennis in there as well. They are They are going to be a handful, and they are going to sit back, and they're going to be vicious on the break. Quite frankly, I think I'm glad we've got them out of the way. I'm not saying they're going to win the league or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, but they are a threat to Newcastle. They really are, and whoever else down there. I'm really pleased to get that one out of the way. I thought we finished a better team. I thought for a lot of the game. It depends how you want to measure it. If you want to measure it on possession, there's no competition. But actually, in terms of organisation, they just looked up for it. They just seem to be, at any time we looked like we were about to be a threat, they just took the ball off us, and they seem to be able to do it quite easily. So, I mean, I think they've got good reason to be buoyed by that, as gutted as they are. And there were points in that, obviously, during that game, I was thinking, actually, we're awful, and I wasn't confident. I thought Antonio was blunt, really, to put it that way. I felt I know he had a couple of attacks, but I thought Ben Rama was quite blunt because he didn't have the pace to do anything. I know he had the shot and all the rest of it, but and actually, I feel he looks better when he drifts in the middle to find little bits and pieces. He's a bit wasted there on the wing, but nonetheless, he was still started as a left winger, and he couldn't hurt him there. He just wasn't fast enough to. They just kept on taking the ball off him, and you want something. So I thought, for a lot of our attacking play was blunted. I didn't think we had any creativity in the middle. Rice, that's for reasons I mentioned earlier. So I think we certainly finished the stronger team. And you're absolutely right. It was a pivotal game, and I didn't know how Moyes was going to do it today. Really didn't. How he was going to get some character in the team, but he did. He did get some character in the team, and I was really impressed actually with that. Because I was looking at one point thinking, I don't know how we're going to get into this. I don't know how we're going to score a goal. So fair play for finding a way through, for doing it, and for maintaining in the team a belief that they could actually get something. And I look at that and I think, actually, to do 120 minutes, to get through, to get that win, we didn't deserve that win against Kidderminster, to come through today and to get the win as well. There's a definite determination to the team. There's a definite character there. And I mean, well, I was going to say, well, when they say well played us, well done us. Well done us. Because we ain't playing well at the moment. And it's like you said, Rice can only get better. I think as a team, we're almost at rock bottom at the moment. So I think actually we're still we're still up there. So I think, I think we can get better as well as a team. So I'm quite pleased with the result tonight. And whilst, the kicking of the football in the first half wasn't particularly good, there were things that I was pleased that I saw today, certainly.
Yeah, I think Watford ended up being a good test for us this evening. Different teams possess different tests, and Watford is one of, we're going to sit back, can you break us down? Had we played someone like Leeds, who's the test that they would possess would be, we're going to counter-attack you with pace and stuff like we've saw. I think it might have been a different outcome this evening. So in a weird way, Watford ended up being a good opponent for us this evening. And we play Leicester on Sunday. I'm kind of glad, I'll say it now, I'm kind of glad we've got Leicester, actually, not a better team, because we've got Wolves in a few weeks' time. I fear Newcastle and Wolves more than do Leicester presently. So I think we've got a couple of good fixtures to sort of get the season back up and running, if you like. Individual performers, take your pick. You already mentioned a couple, but feel free to go back into more detail if you wish.
I've got to. So it was full time, 1-1 with Burnley and Man U. I've got to mention Dawson today. I thought Dawson was absolutely immense. There's a ginger Pele-ness to that boy. I tell you, he's a warrior. And what was he doing at one point? He turned into Franz Beckenbauer. He took the ball out, started dribbled it out of defence and made the pass as well. Thought, hello, what's all this? But actually, it needed it. It needed it because the ball kept on coming back to us, in that sense. And they were attacking such pace, got us up the pitch a little bit. A couple of really good tackles, some good headers. And then he goes and finishes it off by just sticking his head in. Oh, boot, kick me in the head. Don't worry about it. Boing, have some of that. And we'll deal with the stitches later. We've had some players like that down the years as well. We've had lots of them, and I'm always pleased to have those players. Fabianski, good game, mate. Good game. Called upon 3 times and answered that call. He really did. He answered that call. And some quiet performances. And we've won a game there, I think, with about half the team playing well, 4 or 5 players playing well. And that's something. That's something to be pleased about. In many respects, it's to be worried about as well, because there were some players that were anonymous. Sometimes you watch a game and you think, "Oh, I forgot he was playing." I had a bit of that today.
There was a few of them tonight.
Yeah, there was, but you know what? Fabianski really good. Dawson really good. Look, I think I've said enough nasty stuff. Well, not nasty. I haven't said nothing nasty. I said everything that Zuma deserved today. But I'm annoyed with him actually, because there was actually, I almost feel he's conflicted me because I don't want to admire him because of what he's done. But I thought I thought that couldn't have been easy today for him to go on there and play like he did, under that sort of scrutiny, under that sort of pressure. And the words are struggling to escape my mouth, but you know what I'm saying. He could have ducked that game. He could have ducked that game, and I expected him to. And there was a point where he clearly injured his knee. I felt he was limping towards the end as well, and I felt there was probably an opportunity in that game for him to hold his hand up and say, "Oh, the old knee. Can you take me off, please?" And he didn't do it. And actually, he played through the boos, which he deserved, and battled, and I don't really know what else to say to that. I don't want to say that I admire him. I don't. I think he's a twat, but I think Moyes will be pleased with what he saw today, and I think he probably took his punishment and took his medicine, and there'll be more punishment to come for him, by the way. And actually, he went for it. He went for it today, and he partnered Dawson well in defence. Let's say that. So and obviously we'll leave our man in the match to the end.
You've taken all the good ones. I don't want to repeat all. You've left me all the players that didn't play very well.
Sorry.
I don't want to repeat everything you've said. All right, I'll be the ruthless one. Souček was ineffective again. It's not good, really. Games like today, in the first half, when you're struggling, you need a little bit of something, a little bit of sparkle, creativity. And if your front three are struggling to get the ball into their feet, which to wear, that's when you look at your centre midfields and say, well, you've got to help them out here. You've got to provide them with the pass that opens up. You've got to play between the lines here. You're the one that's got to give it to Bowen or Fornals or Benrahma, where they've actually got a yard and a half behind them where they can turn and run in defence. There was none of that coming from Rice or Souček, but the difference is, in the second half, it was coming from Rice. Rice did step up. Rice did play better. I don't think Souček did. The only times I really saw Souček was when we put in a hopeful cross, and I saw him on the replay lingering at the back post. Not a great performance from him. Not a bad one. He didn't play bad, but that's because Watford didn't really test him. Whenever Watford came forward, they came down the sides. He didn't come down the middle of the pitch. There wasn't really much for him to do defensively. And when there's not much for him to do defensively, he don't look great, does he? Needs something, Souček. It probably goes back to that whole role of Rice and Souček thing changing from last season, that dynamic between them. But again, tonight, it's one of them where it is 0-0. You're looking at the team thinking, well, who's not pulling their weight here? And I often find myself looking at Souček going, you're the one that needs to do a little bit more. I don't think Soufal had his best game. I don't think Creswell had his best game. Again, didn't necessarily play badly. I'm more concerned about Soufal and Creswell, though, because I have faith Creswell will come good in the next game. Soufal, not so much. It's been a bad season for Soufal. Not really bad one game, two game. Thought he was very wasteful. I mean, he got forward, very energetic, tried hard, got forward a lot. Just didn't really do much with the ball. And then I felt a bit sorry for Antonio. I don't think he got much service today whatsoever. But it's another game goes by where we had a striker on the bench, we would have probably changed it. Before the goal, it was 68th minute we scored. On the 65th minute, if we had someone capable of coming on to play up front, we might have hooked Antonio, but we can't. We've almost got to play him in. And like I said, he tried hard. You saw him at the end there when he was chasing it down. He should have got a free kick. That linesman, for whatever reason, did not want to give anything to West Ham.
No.
Antonio's working hard to get that free kick, get that throw in and stuff. It's not through lack of work rate from any of these players. They're just out of form. And it's a bit concerning. Like you said, we've won the game, but about 6 players played well. The other 5 were a little bit average at best. Anyway, any final words in your man of match, please?
No, actually, on that lines, I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, their teams, the referees have teams. They have chosen people. They're buddies. They're colleagues. They work close to each other. I think if I was a referee, there, I'd be saying to him, mate, you can't do that. You put him in an awkward position here. It's a little bit too much. Actually, a little bit too much. To systematically not give us anything there. And as I always say, what is not stopped is encouraged. And that's how injuries come about. Luckily, we didn't have one today. If that had gone on another 10 minutes, Watford player might have felt empowered. Think, you know what? Bang, I'm going to go straight through here. When we studs, nothing's going to happen. Really great win for us. Great win. I don't mean great performance. Great win. Really good. Moyes would be absolutely delighted. All the negativity you mentioned, going right back from the transfer window, people are angry at the moment. People are angry. I mean, you see it. You see it in the comments on our videos every day. People are angry about the transfer, about everything that's gone on since, about the lack of funds, takeover, the owners. Now this, which is is really. We don't take much. Someone said to me today, actually, I won't say who it is. Someone said to me, was worried that there might be fights in the stands today between West Ham fans. And we've seen it before. And it was how polarizing tonight's Zuma thing might have been. Do you know what I mean? With some people saying, get on with it, leave them alone. You understand? There's some people saying, well, this is completely out of order. And some people, it's West Ham, leave it alone, sort of thing. And I hadn't thought about it in those terms. It feels volatile. We're doing videos every day, and you see in the comments, it feels volatile.
Just to back you up, I wouldn't say I was expecting fights, but I know there was some fans at the game singing Kurt Zouma kicks what he wants and stuff. And obviously there's people there next to those West Ham fans that don't like it. You could see an argument, but...
Yeah, and I just, but it does feel volatile at West Ham at the moment. I think because we've flown so high, and now we're worried that we're fading and dying in that sense because of the lack of signings in the transfer window. And it feels like it's just waiting for a match to go onto a load of fuel at the moment. You can read it each day in the comments. People's patience and tolerance for each other is gone. So this win was really, really important, just to give it's a really, really important thing. So fair play to the players, fair play to David Moyes, and I think the coaches probably played a big role today in galvanising that team under the circumstances. Was a terrible atmosphere. It was, it had the whole Isla. That was just, that was a really heartfelt, horrible thing to go through. I didn't see it on the telly. Apparently, Nicola was addressed everybody on the screen, and the players would have all sat down, and whether they listened to that, Moyes would have given his team talk along those lines of do it for Isla and whatnot. A whole load to manage that in terms of man management around that today, and the coaching team to get the team out and to get them motivated, I think and then to get the win is really, really important for us. So, all in all, I think we've got to be happy come the end of those 93 minutes.
And your man of match?
Oh, Bowen.
Massive win. I say massive. Big win. Important win tonight as well. I think the introduction of Lanzini was key, made the big difference, not just for the goal, but how we then managed the game for the final 25 minutes of it as well. He was a big key part of us just retaining possession, keeping things calm when we need to. That composure, that sort of clinical in the past, which we were lacking until he came on the pitch. We were very sloppy, misplaced passes. We're struggling to string 3 or 4 passes together in a row. Then when Lanzini came on, at one point, we'd done about 25 passes, just pass. Then we gave it to Dawson, who kicked out of play. But no, he played well tonight. Dawson played well tonight. I admit it. I only counted 3 times where he unnecessarily kicked out of play. But I'm joking. I'm trying to wind up Gonzo. He's not reacting. But yeah, I thought Lanzini made a huge difference. But man of the match has to be Jarrod Bowen. Absolutely fantastic. And the first half, even though we were poor, he was the bright spark. It was his pass to Saeed Benrahma that we hit the post from, that vision, that pass from him. Second half, different role, almost like a free role, moved 15, 20 yards inside, and we became Jarrod Bowen FC in the second half. And that's not a bad thing. When you've got a player that good, it's not a bad thing. I have no problem with it. It was like when we had Dimitri Payet and people said you're a one-man team. West Ham fans knew we weren't. But I don't have an issue with that. If he's that good, then bloody should be a one-man team. We should be trying to get the best out of Dimitri Payet. When Grealish was at Aston Villa, one-man team, well, they're not really. But they should be. They should put Jack Grealish in and build a team around him. Us at West Ham at the moment, I have absolutely no issues if Moyes puts Jarrod Bowen in his best position and we work out the attacking formation around getting the best out of Jarrod Bowen because he's that good. He's shown tonight that he can create and he's shown tonight that he can score as well. Why would you not build your attacking team around him? So in the second half, I felt like we turned into a little bit Jarrod Bowen FC. I'm all for it. Defenders can't handle him. It gives us, Lanzini comes on. Where's Bowen? There you are. Declan gets the ball. Where's Jarrod Bowen? There you are. It's not a bad thing. Teams will suss it out eventually, but that just means Bowen then opens up the space for other players and stuff. We've got one of the most informed players in the Premier League right now, and he's an absolute joy to watch tonight. Absolutely no different. And a bit disrespectful to the rest, maybe, but it finished Jarrod Bowen 1, Watford 0, unfortunately for them. For me, it's a brilliant performance from him. Anything else you'd like to add, my friend?
No. That's a wrap, my friend. Job done. That's a wrap.
But if you enjoyed this review, drop a like on and subscribe to the channel. Myself and Gonzo. Catch you in a bit.